I have three brothers, Alfredo, Alberto, and Roberto. And my name is Franco, or better yet, Francesco. But let's leave it at Franco, and we will be talking about Alfredo, the older brother that I grew up with. I'm only 18 months younger than him. And we grew up in a family, old-fashioned, coming out of World War II, my mother, my father. They did the best job they could with their kids as far as education, feeding them, and everything else that it takes to raise a family. Now, I'm not going to go into from the beginning of time. You know, I just want to speak about my older brother, a big disappointment. Somebody that I trusted with my life, and I would die for him. Not now, of course. But the reason for that is that he became very greedy. But then again, he was always greedy. Even growing up, everything was his. The ball was his, the bike was his, everything was his. He always came first. I remember once in the kitchen back in Brooklyn, we were 15, 16, in that age group. And there was a discussion at the kitchen table. There was a few of my family members sitting at the kitchen table. And I was kind of, I guess I got under his skin. The guy literally picked up a fork. I had my hand laying on a kitchen table, and he stabbed me right on my hand. I mean, he stabbed me where he left the fork, right on my hand. I pulled it out, and well, we had it out. But that's the type of guy he was. He was always a very frustrated type of person. If he didn't get it his way, he stamped his feet. That's just the way he was. Now, going forward, I got married, and he followed my footsteps. He got married to his wife, which it couldn't have been. I made it possible for him. As a matter of fact, in the first few years that he was married, he used to blame me for being married. And the reason why was because before getting married to my wife, the mother of my children, we set up a beautiful apartment in Brooklyn. Beautiful. I mean, there was nothing missing. Everything was brand spanking new in that apartment. The rugs, the curtains, everything, dishwasher. The apartment wasn't mine, it was rented, but we put everything brand new into that apartment. So basically everything inside of the apartment was mine. Cost me and my wife a lot of money at the time. In the neighborhood, maybe $25,000. We could have bought a house. But we didn't know, we were young, stupid. But anyway, we did. Now, we were able to do that because we didn't want to have a wedding, a traditional wedding, you know, getting the hall, the band, all of the above. We just wanted to get married and just get it done. And that's what we did. Now, what happened is, when we got married, I say maybe a week went by, and we decided to move to South America, to do basically a honeymoon and move at the same time. Doing that, I was going to sell everything I owned in the apartment. My mother, my father, they begged me not to. The reason why is because my brother couldn't get married, couldn't afford to get married because he couldn't afford to set up home. So I says, okay, well, it cost me so much, you know, and they said, well, we can't give you all the money you spent, but we could give you $5,000. Look, I accepted it not because of the 5,000. I accepted it because the house was going to my brother, and it was going to make it possible for him to get married. So I was happy for him, and that's the way we were. Or I should say, that's the way I was. Now, he's able to get married. They have the party, the hall, everything that I didn't have. But because obviously the guests that went to the wedding, they paid for all that, you know, with their gifts. And that in those days was cash. They didn't come up with a set of pots and pans. They came up with cash. So they were able to pay for the wedding and put some money in their pocket and have a home that was already complete. Just move in, put the key in the key lot and open up the door. Wonderful. He's happy, I'm happy, everybody's happy, but I never got my 5,000. And I never really asked for it. Now me and my wife would go back. We moved to South America. We were there not too long because it didn't work out, and we returned. We set up house again. Never got the 5,000. Now, we start working together, and as usual, you know, when I say we start working together, we were working for my father. At the time, $100 a week. But that's okay. Rent was like $220 a week. So basically it balanced out. In those days, I wish it was today the same, but it's not, of course. Anyway, so as usual, I would lock horns with my father and go on my way and start a business and do good and just go forward. But my brother didn't have that kind of courage to leave my father and do something on his own. He claims that he was faithful to my father, but that's total bullshit. He just didn't have what it really took to go out on your own and find something and start a business. He just didn't have it. Not to mention he had the money anyway. So now, again, let's go forward a little further, otherwise we're going to be here forever. Now, as the years went by, I was in business by myself, had a jewelry store, they had a jewelry store, which the jewelry store that they had, which they set it up in Huntington, Long Island. It was called Franco's Jewelers. How many guesses would you like? Who put up the money for the jewelry store? Okay, well, let's go on with that too. Now, they had the jewelry store called Franco Jewelers, and I had my jewelry store, which it was called Rosa Jeweler. I named it after my sister that passed away. And my daughter's name was Rosa as well. So I'm doing my business, they're doing their business. And I wound up buying I had a home that I was living in, and I wound up buying 2 more homes from the bank that were foreclosures. Now I got 3 homes, I got my business, I'm a young guy, I'm making money, but he's not. He's living with my father because he moved from the apartment from Brooklyn. He moved to Long Island in my father's house, where at that time he had 2 kids, his wife, my mother, and my father, and my 2 younger brothers, all living in the same house. It was a big house, but it was not his house. And it was right across the street from my house. Plus I had 2 more homes. One which was a 2-family home. I wanted to venture off into the real estate business. So one night he calls me up and he says, you know, I want to talk to you. I says, okay, fine, well, what's up? You know, come over. So he did. He just crossed the street, came to the house. Comes to the house, he doesn't even walk in. It was late at night. Well, late at night, it was dark. It was, you know, 7, 8 o'clock at night. And he says, no, I don't want to come in. I just want to ask you something right here at the door. I was inside the house. He was outside the door. He goes, look, you got 3 homes, and I'm living with mommy and daddy with 2 kids, and I don't know when I'm going to have the possibility of buying my own home. Can you give me one of your homes? I looked at him. I didn't even think twice. I said, sure. Which one do you like? He says, I'll take the one with 2 family. He wasn't stupid. He did. I said, sure, it's yours. He never came into the house. I just turned around, looking into the kitchen. I said to my wife, give me the keys for the 2-family home. She gave me the key without questioning, because she never questioned anything I did, and I wish she would have. Maybe I wouldn't have made that mistake, but that's okay. At the time I was young, and probably I would have answered her in a very bad way. So I gave him the keys. I said, here's the keys. And he looks at me with a surprised look on his face. You're really going to give me the house? I said, well, didn't you ask me for the house? Because, well, I didn't think you were going to give it to me. I says, then why did you ask me? I said, look, Al, just take the house, and God bless you. He goes, well, I don't have the money. I said, I know you don't have the money, Al. When you get it one day, you give it to me. Takes the house. He's very happy. His bad excuse of a wife was happy. Of course, now she doesn't have to live with her mother-in-law. She don't have to be subject to everything my mother tells her. Now she's got her own home, 2-family home. She has an income, no mortgage, because it was free and clear. So here's a woman that she was able to get married because I was nice enough to give my brother an apartment set up. She never thanked me, ever. Not that I needed it, but the kind of people. Then I give her a real home, free and clear from the bank, because I bought it from a bank, foreclosure. And again, should have made her happy. This woman has nothing but bad things to say about me. And from day one, because incidentally, my brother met his wife because I was going out with her sister, her older sister. And then I was supposed to marry her, but I didn't want to. I backed out of it because I found out that she was screwing my cousin. And when I found out, I told her, look, the wedding is off, and have a nice life. She goes, no, but I was screwing your cousin before I was going out with you. I said, no, I understand that. I know you didn't cheat on me. But how do you expect me to get married with you when me and my cousin, we're going to be together for the rest of our life? He's supposed to come and visit me, and I got to look at him that he was screwing you? I said, it's not going to work. So I'm sorry. Have a nice life. Anyway, this girl had a nervous breakdown. She went nuts. So this was held against me until right now, actually. 45 years later. So anyway, I never got the money for the house. Never got the money for the apartment. Now, 30 years go by, 35 years go by. I helped them to buy a piece of property. Not with money, but I found a piece of property. He had no idea how to do it. He was clueless, no clue at all. So I showed him how to do it. We did it, no money. It was one of those crazy deals, a 5-year option, no money down. Crazy, crazy deal. It only comes once in a lifetime. And it came to us. That's what I thought, but it wasn't us. It was him. But, incidentally, he sold the house that I gave him, and he took the money, and he bought another house. Okay, I didn't want to forget that. So now when he bought this property that I found and I explained to him, it was a great deal. There was a freestanding home on this big property. It was a big property. And I said to him, I said, well, what about me? What do I get out of this deal? He says, well, I says, I'll take that house. I should have said, I'll take that house for the house you never pay me. But I didn't say that. I said, I'll take that house. He goes, okay, that house is yours until the day I die. I says, okay, fine. Why can't you put it under my name? Well, I don't want to break up the parcel. Well, how? But still, I put the house under your name. I gave it to you. They gave you the money. Anyway, I didn't really make a big issue out of it. I trusted him. A bad move on my part, trusting him, because I trusted him with my life. Anyway, the wind-up is he knocked down the house after about 30 years, and he threw me out. Well, I'm going to have to end it here because otherwise this is going to be too long. But I will make another video in reference to this video. Thank you for listening to me. If you like it, give me a like. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you want to find out what happened, I'll be here. Thank you.